Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Gator Media Hockey Roundtable. It's been, I'd say, a slower week here for news NHL-wise, but there's been a handful of some smaller signings, and we'll take a look at those right now. Starting off where we left off last time. On the last time here, if I can pull it up, if it loads here. And last signings for the 27th.
Those, which we did those ones already.
Which we did already. That was the day we did the podcast last. And then the next big one we had was Alex Galchenyuk. Signed a 1-year deal at $1.05 million. Do you think it's good for him? Get a second, third, I guess. Well, I don't know the number of chances he's had, but I think he's looking to make an impact in Ottawa.
Oh, he's going to get lots of playing time. Sens, rebuild team, so short-term deal for them, so no loss on the Sens either way at that price. It's kind of like the Nichushkin deal in Colorado. Take a gamble. Looks like it's paying off pretty good for both sides in Colorado. So Galchenyuk, same type of thing. Kind of a guy that the potential's there, but is just not finding a home. But maybe Ottawa's where it's at. He's only 26 years old, so.
Yeah, it's true, and actually it's a good point you bring up Big Val Nichushkin in Colorado, because that's definitely, he just got signed to a decent deal for Colorado. But yeah, he proved himself, worked hard, and definitely earned that deal. And I think something similar could happen here with Galchenyuk. He's had kind of a rocky few years of a career here ever since he got traded to Vegas, right? So
to Vegas.
Sorry. What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Pacioretty.
I'm thinking of Pacioretty. In the Pacioretty deal. That's the tar I'm thinking of. Penguins, right?
Yeah, he's Pittsburgh and Minnesota.
Yes.
And now Ottawa. So yeah.
That's right.
Might get some bounce back time. We'll see.
Yeah, time will tell. Next trade. Ooh, I'm having an off day here. Next signing, Victor Olofsson signed a 2-year deal at $3.05 million per.
He's 25 years old. He was a rookie last season. He was actually one of the better rookies last year. I think he had, could be wrong, I thought he had 44 points in like 55 games or something.
Okay.
Could be wrong on that.
I have to pull that up. I think that the Sabres have really done a good job of building up young talent. They did get Hall, but they have Eichel and, not young, but Stahl. You got Skinner. They've kind of built themselves a good team. I think that Buffalo's futures looks pretty bright, but.
Well, they're definitely looking better on paper, but we'll see when they actually start playing, if they start playing this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be weird if all these guys sign 1-year deals and then they never actually get to sign or get to play a game.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, he had he had 20 goals, 22 assists in 54 games. He was 7th in Calder Trophy voting as the league's top rookie last year.
So great. Yeah. I think really good numbers as far as, like you said. That's
pretty good. Yeah, just to get a good deal on him.
I'll be interested to see where Buffalo goes in the future, next few years here. It's such a depth of talent. They still have Rasmus Dahlin, who I think is still yet to become.
And Rasmus Ristolainen too.
And Ristolainen, yeah. So I can see them, as long as they don't, whatever happens, it always seems to happen to Buffalo, but I guess time will
we'll see
tell.
That signing pans out, but yeah, that's a good signing.
But moving on to the next day here, Jets signed Sami Niku, 2 years, $725. Leafs also went and signed a guy for that price, that many years as well, actually. Bringing back goalie Michael Hutchinson.
Yeah, it's good. He's obviously the fourth string guy, so he's obviously going to be on the farm team. Because Freddie Anderson's number 1, number 2's Campbell, 3's Dell, so Hutch should be number 4. But yeah, it's a good pickup. I think he's a good good guy in general, so good guy to have around. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he cares as long as he's playing some hockey. Doesn't care if he's playing hockey in the AHL or NHL. I think obviously you want to play in the NHL, but
yeah,
at this point, a job's a job. So,
well, and I think that the big thing is it's work. A lot of guys aren't getting work. That's the big thing. He can sign the lease for this. $725,000 is, no small number for a regular guy like me and you, but it leaves him, because after next year, correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy's off the books.
Yeah,
Andy. I think Campbell and Dell are both off the books.
They all are.
So we only technically have one goalie next year under contract.
Yep.
So really that only leaves him exposed to Seattle.
Yep.
So
that's probably why they got him, to expose him.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to talk about your other signing you made that same day?
Well, we signed Joey Anderson, the guy we got for Andreas Johansson from the Devils. We signed him 3-year deal, 2.25 total, and $750,000 cap hit. He's 22 years old. Apparently, he plays kind of like a Hyman role, so I like to see him in the lineup playing, but I'm not sure if he'll be an extra. It's hard to tell because until you actually start seeing your team play and see him play, where's he gonna fit? And right now, it's so the whole league's so up in the air with what's going on that it's tough to make a prediction, but definitely like to see him in the lineup if that's how he plays. So
yeah, it'll add some sandpaper, which your team I think desperately needed. And other than that, there's 3 signings that were essentially. There's no contract. I'm guessing they're league minimum. One guy being Kyle Burrows from Colorado, but which we haven't seen too much of him, but maybe in the future we'll see. But moving on to the 1st of November. And a couple signings. Warren Foegele from the Carolina Hurricanes signed a 1-year, $2.15 million deal. And the Oilers went and signed Dominic Cahoon to 1-year, $975,000 deal. So,
both young guys, 24, 25. So, I think the Oilers just adding extra guys, adding depth.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. Moving on to yesterday. Only one signing, which Curtis Gabriel, and the big signing today, Anthony Mantha. If you're watching this on the 3rd of November when it comes out, Anthony Mantha, 4 years, 5.7 per. Red Wings are adding one of their bigger guys.
I think he's a key piece. He's 26 years old, so he'll be 30 when this contract ends. 5.7 million for him might be a little high. Mm-hmm. Personal opinion, but I think he's a key piece to their team. So it's like Gallagher, you got to pay him a little bit more to keep him around, keep him happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the Red Wings' plan is. You know what I mean? Obviously they're rebuilding, but do you think it's tear down? Because you think if they were doing a full rebuild, they would trade guys that came away, guys like the Larkin, guys, you know what I mean? Try to tear the ship right down and start from nothing. But I guess you still need to have a competitive team, I guess. But
got to put a product on the ice. I can't even say it this year. I was going to say you still have fans coming to the game, so you got to have a product on the ice. But you could potentially have people watching at home.
You still have revenue to try and make.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess just jumping into where the league's at, the NHL won't go any lower than 48 games. It's kind of, I mean, like, I want the league to come back, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of like it was before. It's like coming back or not, like, kind of make up your mind. Are we giving her, or are we? But at the same time, I think a lot of players don't want to go in the bubble.
Well, it's so
you can't blame them. So,
could you imagine playing? I mean, they only played what? The max is 20, 30 games in the bubble? 7 times 4. Right? 7.
For what?
For a maximum amount of games in the bubble. I don't know who played the most. Let's say it's 25 games. I don't know if that's the number or not, but that's a lot of games in the bubble. You take that and you basically times that by 2.
Yeah. No, I don't even think it's 25 games. Well, whatever.
Basically, you're playing at 48 over double the amount of games in the bubble. And a lot of those would be back to back, and I don't know how they'd figure it out. And
I mean, I want it to come back. I just don't. I don't know. We're already in November, and they're still humming and hawing about it. Like, I've heard they might just cancel the season, and then, like, if they cancel the season, hopefully they try to shoot for October start.
Yes.
Like normal. Right? I mean, we want playoff hockey, we want all that, but at the same time, it's just...
They need to make it official. Whatever they do, make it official. I mean, it's really hard to, but I think...
I just wanted to go back to, like, hockey, like, normal, like, to the winter months, and then, like everything just kind of, I guess, back to normal. I mean... But it's tough. So, like, what is normal now is kind of, I guess, what it is too.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be a back to regular
for a while.
I think, well, if ever, right?
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that if they're going to go forward with hockey, I think by January they should have a yes or no decision. Like, I mean, that gives them a little while. That's what they're shooting for.
You know what's kind of sad though? Ovechkin probably, well, I mean, he missed a good, not a good chunk, but he probably missed about 15 games or so.
Yeah.
14, 15 games. Whatever it worked out to end of last season. And he's missing the season as we speak. I mean, if he only plays, say, about 48 games, that's not quite half, or that's over half, I should say. I don't know. His chances to catch Gretzky are getting, and he's getting older, and he's sitting out. Like, it's getting slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah, and they were very slim to begin with, so.
Yeah, and they were. You kind of had to do your whole, well, if he got this much by this many years, now it's like, yeah, Ovechkin, you gotta hit like 60 goals for the next, like,
yeah.
Or before it was like, if you hit 50-50, and then he could taper 40-40, 35, like, he could taper a little bit. Now it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Your goal amount has to go up the next few years to make up for that, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, when the average was, I think it was, 35 goals for the next 8 years or something like that? And now it's probably more like he's got to be a 40-goal scorer still till the end of his career.
Well, and he's free agent at the end of, like, the 2021 season. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I think he goes back home.
You think so?
If the league is, like, say this pandemic is still, like, how it is now, I think he'd go home. Which is kind of sad to say. Probably the greatest goal scorer of our generation here, of this generation, might go out because the pandemic is kind of pushed him out. sadly, in a way.
Well, it just depends where he calls home, right? Because I believe he's got 2 children now.
Yeah.
And obviously he's got a wife or whatever. He's got a significant other. He's got 2 kids. For all you know, they're rooted in Washington or wherever their home is. They could stay in North America. And that might make a big decision. I mean, his kids are young enough that you could probably move them back home and whatever. But
I think he leaves, but
it just depends.
Because he's already hummed and hawed about going home before.
Well, in the Olympics, like I think he's pretty proud national now. Like I'm pretty sure he's got good national pride because he wanted to basically leave the NHL for the Olympics and all that kind of stuff. So I do agree that he probably will maybe go home, but a lot of variables in his life too.
I mean, you hope that's not the way he goes because
No.
the pandemic basically kind of pushed him out because the NHL's kind of not the NHL, I should say, but the pandemic's kind of put a damper on careers and teams, and it's a sports world in general, right? Not just hockey, but yeah. The pandemic is also affecting potential extension for Travis Green, I seen.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a good assessment of Green when he's not really coached. Obviously, he's not coaching because with everything going on. But I mean, I think he deserves the extension anyhow because the playoffs kind of showed you that this team's here to compete, and he's a big reason.
And I think
they did as good.
I think if you get rid of him, you mess with whatever chemistry and mojo he's got going in that room. Like you wipe the slate clean, and now you got a new guy in there trying to make whatever magic that Green.
But does anybody have any right now?
For which?
Like you said, mojo. Does anybody have any chemistry or anything right now? Everyone's they haven't seen each other and.
Yeah, but I'm saying. Yeah. Just his style, the team's bought into his system.
Yeah.
Right, but yeah, I know what you're saying. The teams, they're all basically every team in the league's cold.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe the guys
Tampa might not be, but yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to say. It'd be interesting. I could see a lot of. Do you remember in the 05 lockout when everyone came back? There's so many tweaks and groin injuries and hamstring pulls and this kind of thing. I see a lot of that kind of stuff happening if we ever have hockey this season, next, whatever. I think that when it restarts, we'll have a lot of tweaks, especially goaltenders. I can see a lot of goaltenders getting pulled groins and old players like Joe Thornton or whoever. Not picking on your Leafs, but they have quite a few of those guys. But I don't know. I noticed a lot when they came back. JR got hurt and Jason Allison got hurt. Like a lot of those old guys got hurt. But also conditioning's better nowadays, too. So.
Dallas Stars are missing 2 guys for the next 5 months. Sagan and Bishop are out for 5 months. So.
Yeah. They both had surgery.
Torn meniscus is what Bishop had.
And hip was Sagan.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they both had surgery. So 5 months. So if they'll be out with those guys if the season does start.
Yeah, well.
I guess other news. Ryan Strome for the Rangers is $2 million apart in arbitration filings. So they're still ways apart. So not sure how that'll pan out, but.
Wow.
Yeah, be honest with you, there's not a lot to talk about, but.
No, one thing I wanted to throw your way, don't know if you read the article or not, but about Hoffman. He's basically getting what they call bargain offers. I think he's going to sign for next to nothing. Either he's going to sit or he's going to have to sign for peanuts to play. Just because I think a lot of teams are strapped for cash. A lot of teams are, tightening their belts, whatever. It's a flat cap. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
He's too good of a player to sit out, so... But at the same time, they all might be sitting out, so...
Yeah, this is true. It might influence a lot of decisions. I know Kovalchuk's waiting for the right offer, but he might be
Chara
waiting for...
too, right?
Yeah. Well, I think Chara's just waiting for Boston.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, I see Toronto's tied to Chara too.
Of course they are. They're tied to
for some
everybody.
reason. Well, I'll do my duster of the week here. My duster of the week is potentially no body checking in the OHL. But the OHL hasn't ruled out body checking.
But
and the Ontario Premier.
The government's mandating it.
What's the heck's his name? Ford.
Not Rob, it's his brother.
Brother, yeah. His first name's slipping my mind, but
Kevin? No.
Premier Ford is he's all for the body checking.
Okay.
In the OHL, so.
Oh, good. I thought maybe he was gonna be the one that spearheaded.
He is. Sounds like he's for it. But where my duster comes in, I think it's silly to not have body checking in that
high level
hockey. Like, this is an initiation or novice or
even Pee-wee. Pee-wee was
sitting.
Not anymore. I'm pretty sure they moved it to midget.
Yeah, but well, those aren't the correct names.
They moved them.
The names are different, though.
They changed the names? Okay. When I went to play hockey,
that's Pee-wee and midget. I don't know what it is now, actually. So obviously I don't have kids at that level. But there's, well, I don't know, I just think like I said, that high of hockey level, there's no body checking. It's kind of like I understand I think it's to prevent COVID.
That's what they say.
They're not contacting each other the same, but I'm thinking, but I don't know, just it shouldn't matter, like,
Other than that close of contact.
You're shoulder on shoulder, but I don't know, like
not smashing faces together.
Yeah, but when you're battling for the puck without hitting, you're still close to each other.
When you're doing board battles, pinning the guy against the board, you can take that out too.
That's actually closer contact than body checking. Body checking, you usually hit the guy and move on.
Yeah, you just hit him and you take off.
I don't know. I think it'd be silly to take it out. I mean, and like I can add to this would be the downfall of this pandemic for these young guys. Well, like in the OHL. Say guys are trying to showcase themselves.
Yeah.
And hitting is part of your game. Say a Matthew Tkachuk type of player. So you're a good player, but you have some hitting in your game.
Yeah.
And that actually makes you a better player.
More valuable, yeah.
So now how do you showcase yourself when you can't hit anybody?
Well, yeah. And for a guy like Tkachuk, that's one of his best features.
Right? So I don't know, that's just where I stand with it.
Well, you're handcuffing your players like Tkachuk, like Corey Perry, like guys like that, like you said, have the ability to do that, and teams love that. That's playoff hockey type players, and you're gonna take that away. I mean, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, the Q taking out fighting, essentially. Basically putting
the stricter rules on fighting.
Yeah, to try and get rid of it. Well, I mean, teams are gonna look at that when they draft, maybe not their first round pick or second round pick, but their depth picks where maybe they'll make the roster on the fourth line one day or something. Guys like Brad May, guys like Colton Orr, guys like that that was their job. I mean, those guys are kind of weeded out anyhow, I guess. But
there's no more of those guys.
No,
at all.
Actually, yeah, but
there's Tom Wilson's, but there's not.
Yeah.
No, I guess that's my duster, and that's just I don't like COVID or not, just thinking about taking out body checking out of hockey in general is silly to me. But same with fighting. But I'm pro fighting. A lot of people aren't, but a lot of people are. So fighting has its purpose in the game too. So.
Oh, I think body checking does too. What are you gonna do? Just let the guy dance around?
You gotta separate the man from the puck. The best way to do it is hit them.
Yeah.
You don't have to be dirty, just hit them, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to be Scott Stevens or Darius Kasparaitis or someone like destroying somebody, but
yeah.
Wow. I think that's probably all you got for news.
That's all
here.
I got for news. It's
got one more thing before we let you guys go here, and that is
that's kind of what it reminds me of. The Oilers jersey, the dark blue one and the orange one.
The Dallas Stars, the new one.
The Oilers jersey.
Or sorry, the Oilers jersey, but the Dallas. You're talking about the reminds you of this one.
Yeah, same type of thing. It's got that dark blue and orange. But yeah, it's. I mean, if you like like a jersey or not, I'm happy they still come out with different jerseys. Like as a fan, it's neat. Like, oh, that one's cool, or oh, they're going back to the vintage look, or oh, they're adding a vintage look with a newer twist. Like, I like all these jerseys coming out. It's cool.
Yeah.
And like I've seen all these reverse jerseys coming out and stuff, like real or not, they're neat to see.
So, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the show today. It's a short one. I mean, there's not a lot of hockey out there right now, so kind of just talk about what's out and about, and hopefully there'll be more to talk about next week.
Yeah, hopefully we have a little more news on essentially the future of hockey. But yeah, if you want to follow us on social media, you can do that via the description down below, and head on over to gatormedia.com and check out some of the links we have there for some of our affiliate programs. And yeah, click on those links for Phoenix and use the code hockey at checkout to get 15% off. And by clicking that link, you help support the podcast here. And head on over to our link also at gatormedia.com and click on the Pete and Pedro link, and check out some of the awesome products they have there. Like I think we'd said last time, King is out now, and honestly, I think it's a fantastic cologne. And the neat part is they have come out with these little ones here, in these little, what you could call sample sizes, and you get, I don't know, maybe a week's worth or whatever of spritzes, and you can try them out, see if you like them, and buy the big boy bottle. And yeah, their product, I really enjoy their products and all that good stuff. So head on over, use our link, help us, help yourself look a little more stylish every day. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.